And we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. And with me today, I have two very special guests. I'm going to bring them on in just a minute, but I'm going to do a little introduction first. I met Trish in 2018 at eBay Open. She is a huge volume eBay seller. I think she has like 500 million listings or something like that. She'll tell you, though. And then I met her very good friend Diane a few years later, and we were on a panel together at Reseller Remix last year, talking. I say talking very loosely. Those of you that were there know I lost my voice, but we were talking about building community, and both of them have come to become very, very good friends of mine. And so I'm having them on the channel today to talk about a very important subject. But before we get into that, I have an announcement to make. I will be flying to Boston 2 weeks from today to attend the live watch event and of the New England eBay Sellers eBay Open. So, that all being said, I'm going to bring them in the channel. We should be seeing yellow. You guys, you girls. Whoa, what is that?
We got you stuffies.
Oh, how cute! Oh my goodness! So when I brought them on before we went live, they had their camera covered and said you can't see what we're doing.
Diane wanted to be like Drew Barrymore in E.T. and be in a closet.
But Rick wouldn't build a closet for me.
Yeah, her husband wouldn't do it fast enough, so you just had to be us, surrounded by stuffies. He did it all.
He did set up all the
stuffies.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
So that was just for you. Because we know you like your plushies.
The one on Diane's lap is worth some money.
That's my buddy.
Him?
Yeah. Kid sister's here too, but she has different clothes on. She's back here. That's Kid sister.
Yep.
And we have all the Cabbage Patch dolls from the 80s and all the new stuff.
That's a Beanie Boo.
Yeah.
It's a Beanie Boo.
With glitter eyes. All right.
All right.
Well,
foolishness is over.
I will go get to see the plushies in 2 weeks.
Yes, you will.
So before we jump into the topic, like I mentioned, I met both of these ladies through Reseller Events, which is part of the community. So it is super important. Most of my very good friends I've actually met at events or in Facebook groups. Some of them I've been cultivating since 17 or 18. Some of them I just met at FlipCon, but I know they're going to be like my new best friends. So it is really important to reach out and connect in the community. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your, sorry, my TV just popped on and we're about to hear friends. You guys want to tell me a little bit about your wicked reseller group?
Sure. So we have a eBay New England group. We're the only one in New England right now. So we do, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So we are Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. And we have a reseller page, which is
eBay New England Sellers.
I always screw up the name.
Neither one of us knows the name of our own group.
But please come and join. You do not need to be in New England to be in our group. It's just a normal group, but we do publicize when we're going to have events there. And so this year we've been, since the pandemic, before the pandemic, we would get 40 to 50 people on the regular. And then the pandemic happened. And so now we're back into building it up. And so we had an event. Teresa Cox, T-Money herself, came and spoke last month.
Yeah.
And this month Star is coming. So we try to have YouTube people who are big in the community. eBay has come.
We always try to have a guest speaker. And a guest speaker could be Trish. A guest speaker.
They're used to me, so I don't care.
It could be because we're teaching on a specific subject. So she might be the person that we would have. And we just don't have to fly her in. But also, I want to say, I know most people's meetup groups have not come back yet. So right now, we we were Massachusetts, and we do want to get it back to be that way again. But we want to help all the other groups to get going again. And since we've had one and we're still here, we're here to help everybody else.
Yeah, so if you're interested in starting one, reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help you. They're a great way to become involved with the eBay community, and they're a great way to get to meet people in your own area, and also to give a way to, like, our group has gotten donations of shipping materials. So then, we've given them out to whoever wanted them in our group. So it is a way, and we have bought things together as opportunities come up that maybe we wouldn't have bought alone. So they are a great way for not only friendship, but for business.
Yeah, it's both. Like,
Yeah.
you make great friends, and then, somebody can say, hey, I have 50 million pieces of clothes for $50 million.
Right.
And 4 of you can go in on it together.
Exactly.
And split the work and split the cost and split the profits.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing because Diane looks like she has a child on her lap.
Here, I'll get my baby out too.
Okay, good. You can all have babies.
Well, you've got
I have a big ass unicorn.
So building community is super important, whether it's local or not. Other than Cheryl, really all of my very close friends aren't local.
Right.
There are people I see once. This year I see you 5 times.
I know you're going to be sick of me by the end of the year.
No. But there are people I see a few times a year, but I actually talk to them more often than I do friends I have in real life.
Yeah.
Outside, because my reseller friends that aren't local, I talk to every single day, or at least every other day, checking in.
Right.
How are you doing? How are sales? And I share a lot of, my joys and my sorrows in life with these people too. So it's people that you can do business with, but really connect. And I think we get each other.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to say it's a certain type of person who does this for a living. So you have to find people who get it, because most people are like, what do you do? They don't get it.
No. And I think you do need to meet somebody that you can work off of. So like, you need to aspire to something. And if you're just alone in your house,
right, you don't know what's good, what's bad.
Yeah. And you may not know, like, you may have seen that some rule changed or something, but you don't really understand it. And so if you have a friend, or like you said, someone that you call every day that, you check in with, you can have sales contests with each other. You can, how many listings are you going to do this week? Let's see if I can beat you, and just like kind of motivate each other to do better. And that's like, Trish and I would go up to the New Hampshire meeting just because we wanted to see who was there. Nosy. We're nosy. We're very nosy.
The nosy Nellies.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think that was the reason we went, but that's pretty funny.
But we are. So anyways, we wanted to see like who the speaker was there, and it's close enough. In New England, if you don't come to somebody else's meeting because it's 2 hours away, then you don't really care very much about your own business. You get the opportunity to sit and network with this lovely creature, not this one.
I was going to say, Diane suffers no fools. So, I mean, if you don't care to drive 2 hours, then you're out.
You're out.
So how did you guys meet?
We
met
through meetup.
I went.
We did.
Well, I bugged her at first, and then she didn't answer me. So I went right to her. At the time, she had a brick and mortar store. So I walked myself in, and I said, will you do the meetup with me? And she's like, no, my dad's sick. I can't. And I'm like, all right, I'm doing it anyways. So,
so she did it. And I closed my brick and mortar store and showed up a couple of months
I
later.
didn't realize, when she tells you her failed biggest mistake, or however she refers to it, it's not any of those things.
Unmitigated disaster.
That's the word.
And it was.
It wasn't, because she learned so much from it. But after that, we went to eBay Open and we roomed together, and then we were friends for life.
And now we're inseparable.
people
We
think-
annoy people.
Yeah, people
a
think we've
question in the
never not
chat.
known each other.
Yes. What is the question?
Did you have pocketbooks? at your
I
brick
love
and mortar?
pocketbooks. I had tons of pocketbooks at my
So,
store.
For those of
And
you
she
that don't
carries
know, they
mine.
say pocketbook up there, and everyone loves to tease Trish. And Kim wasn't at FlipCon, but we will see you at Remix. Kim, at FlipCon, people were running around the hotel yelling, pocketbook!
Not good. It's not good. You people in the accent thing. And if I have a few drinks, it gets worse.
Listen, y'all talk funny up there.
Y'all. Yeah, y'all do
Y'all.
too. Y'all
All
do
right.
too.
Okay.
So, serious business now.
Yes.
Okay. No
Um,
doll.
No
I
doll. You can keep
I
the
was
doll.
gonna do some questions, but who the hell am I kidding? I'm not. I am organized, but I'm not. When it comes to my schedule and my to-do list and getting my work done and my bullet journal, I'm very organized. But whenever I have guests on the channel, I have like my best epiphany thoughts either in the shower or right before I fall asleep, and then I just never write them down. I do know up here what I want to say. So before we have the ladies tell us a little bit about their businesses, I want to preface this entire show by telling people the reason I'm doing this is because, okay, hashtag tough love. Y'all ready? I'm tired of people beating their chests in the Facebook groups. I only sell shit that has a $50 sale price. I only source stuff that buys me a Lamborghini every other Friday.
Okay, Jethro.
I am so because you hear these braggarts and you hear them saying that, but the reality of it is, and I don't know where you live, but the reality of where I live, and I've lived in Pittsburgh and Tampa, 2 whole different states. If I had that mentality when I went out thrifting and I only sourced items that were ASRP of $20, $25, $50, bro hams, I would source and list 2 things a month, 3 things a month. I wouldn't do wholesale remotes because those remotes that I'm paying 25 cents a pound for, tons of them sell for $7, $8, $10, $12, $15, $18. Tons of them. And I've already made my money back. And then the ones in there that are the great ones that sell for $50 and $100, those are icing. But if I had that mentality of, I am so much better than bread and butter, I would never have sales. And I warned you guys because this is how I really feel about it. And I don't think I've ever been so blunt about it on my channel. But to people's faces at meetups, yes. I just can't handle that mentality because I don't know who you are, where you live.
Well, not only who you are and where you live, but how much time are you taking stepping over quarters to get to $1? So you're going to go past $25 in quarters to pick up $1. And to me, those quarters, not really a quarter, but they add up. Mm-hmm. And my whole business is high volume. I mean, my average selling price is $22. When I did over 6 figures last year, I'll do over 6 figures again this year.
And what did you say your average price is?
$22.
Okay, ours is about 18, but I think it's because of the remotes.
And that was so I used to be free shipping. Are your remotes free shipping?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I used to be free shipping and my average sale price was $17. Now that I have paid shipping, it's up to $22. But I'm going back because my sales have dipped. That's a whole nother, that doesn't matter. But for me, if I spend less than $1 and I net out $15 or net out even $10, $1 into 10, I'm fine. Because
I'm fine with $10 all day long because, not here in Florida, but back in Pittsburgh, sorry to cut you off, but I get excited. I used to get 99-cent jeans, right?
Right.
In Pittsburgh, and I would bring home the Old Navy's, American Eagles, Gloria Vanderbilt's,
right.
Which one am I missing? Gap. And they sell for $20 to $25 with free shipping on them. And I'm netting $9-10, but I'm only spending 99 cents, and I'm not spending, like you said, a lot of time and effort. I could go to the Goodwill on 99-cent day and just grab 100 pairs of jeans and go home.
Right, exactly. And for me, I don't really even source much really anymore. I have built up over the last 5 years the ability that clothes just come to me. Basically, I have a house wholesale accounts with a few consignment stores. I do go to the bins maybe once every 6 weeks. And at the bins, I buy anything that's clean and not ripped. I mean, I will not buy Walmart if it's a size large or less, but a size 1X Walmart or higher, I'm buying that all day. I can sell a 3X Walmart top that's not stained and in good condition every day, all day. I think that, so I don't spend any time at the bins doing comps or searching. All I do is find the best stuff that I can, fill my cart, go outside, do it again. I'll come home with 800 pounds, 1,000 pounds. Because it's in New Hampshire, so it does take about an hour and a half to get there. And then you have to go through Boston. So if there's traffic, you know, you're in your car for 2 hours one way, just get as much clothes as I can get and come back. So for me, you know, bread and butter is the basis of my business, but I am high volume. I have, you know, almost 14,000 items. So, you know,
well, that's extremely high. Like, for most folks that are watching this, if you want to build a volume-based bread and butter business, it took, when I went full-time, it took me 2 years to make it so Keith could quit his job. And we had 4,000 at that time.
Right. You absolutely do not need to do it as the volume that I do. Diane, how many items do you have in your store?
Almost 5,000. Right,
so we're at 2,500 now, but we've had to kind of switch our mentality because here in Florida, the sourcing's a little harder.
Yep.
And you're going to hear differently from other people in Florida. Sorry, not sorry. I can find better higher end. I can find those $50, like those higher ones, but I find less, and the prices. Like, I just put out a short video, like a TikTok, showing.
I saw that about how crazy the prices were.
Yeah, like $80 for Dolce Gabbana jeans. Like, what the ever loving? I can't say that on this.
Well, I don't think that's just there though. I take my grandkids to Savers and to get their clothes and my daughter Jen, who's also in the chat, she buys all her clothes secondhand because they want to save the planet. So we go in and we used to get everything for $1, 50 cents, $2, and then 30% off or 20% off. Now the price is like $20, $30. And it's like, okay, how are we, if you're going to for me, it's fine because it's for the kids, but
she's not reselling.
I'm not going to resell it.
Right.
You're not going to make any money reselling it.
If it's for you, like, I'll pay $5 or $10 for a pair of jeans for myself.
Right. But not to resell.
No brands and stuff. Well, actually, most people know I don't really close shop for myself. Trish knows when I went to FlipCon, everything I wore was borrowed. I brought it home and washed it and relisted it.
Right.
I borrowed from my own store, but so we have like 2,500 items now. Now, we dropped from 4,000 down when we moved from Pennsylvania down here to have less to move. And then we just never built back up because we don't have 99-cent day here. I'm not doing the bins here. The bins here are crazy. That's the only nice way I can say it. It's like if Black Friday at the insane asylum happened. And
I went once.
She went to the New Hampshire bins, and let me tell you, they're not crazy.
I got run over.
She did. I was gonna say they're not crazy, and yet she fell on the ground.
And they ran me over because they pushed me.
Keeping it PG-13. Yeah, I'm trying. I have a bad back. Bending over the bins hurts me anyway. So if I'm gonna go, I want to go to a place where I'm not gonna get punched in the face or throat chopped. I don't want to throw down or have a scuffle. What was your TikTok about that scuffle you had?
A tussle.
Hidden Mickeys.
I would go to the Pittsburgh bins. you know, I would always have 2 or 3 to myself and no one to fight with because I don't do the shoes because they're barf. So I would just go towards the clothes or the plush or the books and be left alone. But here it's a whole different mentality. There's just a whole different kind of people that go to the bins in the Tampa area. And I'm not doing it. I'm not going to risk my life for some freaking Walmart shorts.
Exactly. You only got to do what you want to do. I don't mind it. I find it fun. That lady did annoy me and I did yell at her. But other than that, it's been good.
I wouldn't mind going back to the Pittsburgh ones or the
Yeah.
ones that we went. Did you go to the ones in Charlotte?
I didn't, but I heard they were fine.
They were clean. They were nice.
Yeah.
People
I went to the one in
polite.
Vegas with Vicky, LV Pink Peacock. I almost said it wrong.
There's nothing wrong with the bins.
No, they were fine. They were nice. They were clean.
Yeah, and they're very viable. In the beginning, but when I was still working outside of the home and Keith was trying to build this for himself before he gave it to me when I got disabled, that's a whole other story too. He took $20 out of his own pocket and he went, I'm talking like Trish. I always do when I'm around you, her pocket. He took $20 and he went to the bins. And then whenever that stuff sold, he now had like $50, right? And then he took that, and then he had like $200, and he took that, and he just kept reinvesting his profits. But anyone can take a $10 or $20 bill and go to the bins. And if the bins near you are crazy, like Black Friday, people throwing punches and throat chopping, you only have to do it a few times, and then you have enough capital that you can start going to first off the rack.
Exactly.
But it's a really good way to build your volume and stuff in the beginning. But like, we did have to kind of shift a little bit when we came here. We dropped way down from 4,000 to 2,500 listings. And I'm finding better stuff. Like I'm sitting next to a Robert Graham right now and 2 Vineyard Vines. But I had to pay like $2.50 to $3 per shirt. That was on half off day.
But that's
and
still
I was lucky
good.
to find those because most Robert Grahams around here are 80. Most of the Vineyard Vines are 20 to 40. So
I'm sorry, sir.
I just really have to dig. And so we're basically listing what we're selling, but we're not growing.
Yeah.
Because we're not finding enough volume to grow.
What I was going to say is Diane has a knack of finding free stuff to list.
I can tell you.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So I ran an estate business.
Yeah.
I ran an estate business, and I would have loved people to come up to me and say, hey, I'll take all your clothes the last day, or hey, I'll take all your hard goods, or hey, I'll take all the toys. And people are afraid to talk to estate sale companies. So it depends on the contract. The estate company, either the items go back to the owner or the estate company has to get rid of them. So if they have to get rid of it, you can go in and say, I'll make a deal for all those things. I'd rather get $1 from you than offer it up free the next day, which I did. If no one took it, I would, from 9 to 11 on the last day, I would put everything up for free, and the house was emptied in 2.5 minutes flat of every single item. So always look for free things and if you look on Craigslist, curb alert, CURB, if you don't understand Boston,
Curb alert.
curb
alert
on the sidewalk.
Curb
alert. Because that means that someone's putting stuff out in the front of their house and it's yours for the taking. So the other thing but you really need to tell them that you sell, because why is it a secret? The more people you tell, the more things you're going to get. My mother brings bags of clothes for Trish. I'm like, hello, I sell things too. Me, your daughter right here. No, they go to Trish because it's stuck in her head that Trish sells clothes. So she brings, which, sorry, because most of them are not.
Most of them aren't sellable, but I appreciate the thought.
Yeah, Keith's grandma used to give me all of her, what is that brand? Alfred Dunham.
Yeah.
I sell Alfred Dunham every day.
Every
day I sell Alfred Dunham.
When we first started in 17, 18, I could move it. but then it got to a point where it just wouldn't sell anymore. And she just kept giving me more and more and more. So I donated it before we left Pennsylvania.
Well, Alfred Dunham and I, we're friends.
Well, again, if you make a relationship like this, you can save them all for Trish.
And I would have bought
she
them.
would have bought them for you. And this
Yeah,
is
well, I
the
didn't
thing
know you
that
back
you know.
then.
No, but that's what we meant about community. Like
Yeah.
I buy stuff from Julie, downtown Julie Brown.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm always buying Plush if anyone's curious.
See, that's what I mean. So like if I know you like Plush and I see it, I'll call you and say, hey, Star, you know, and then you just pay me and then pay for the shipping and all's well and good. So, I mean, that's the great thing about having a network of, you know, sellers, a network of people that we can, once they know what you do.
Well, and Plush are harder to find down here as well. I do find them, but they're like few and far between, and they're priced high as well. I just did a couple TikToks about that as well. I used to get 50 cents. I used to actually make friends like you were talking. I told the girl that while I was a seller, she would pull all the best Plush out, put them in the cart. Sunday morning when she saw me coming in, it came out. They were 50 cents. It was great. I don't have that down here. So someone that has been a subscriber for a lot of years just contacted me and she's like, hey, I've watched all your videos. I watch Robert's videos. I got your guide. I know how to source Plush and I see them at the bins. I don't have room to sell them. Do you want them? And she actually was just going to have me pay her back and do the shipping label. And I was like, well, I want to pay for your time. So I pay her double what she pays for the weight. And then I give her a label from Pirate Ship. I just send it to her on Facebook. I got 2 boxes coming. And she's there already getting her clothes. And her bins have really great Plush. So it's a win-win for everybody. She's making double her money.
She's making a little bit of money and you're helping her and she's helping you. That's, you know, and I think that's what, I mean, I know this was really supposed to be about bread and butter, but since we were all just at eBay Open, we're all thinking about community.
But it's also free. It's also about getting things for free. You don't always have to pay for items. And so that way, if you're not paying top dollar for something, which like she said, if you're waiting to get the $50 item to sell for 125, well, you might not find that many. If you get a whole bag of Plush for free, you can price them anything you want because you're already ahead of the game. So, or
even just low cost, like our 25 cents a pound for remotes. People are like, why do you sell $8 free ship remotes? Because
I'm into it for like how much? 5 cents.
25 cents a pound. Most remotes most remotes weigh like 5 ounces. So you like 3.
You're into it for pennies.
Yeah,
literal pennies.
Yeah, literal pennies. And there's always some in there that you find that are, if they have, like I always tell people in my videos, if you ever see remotes, like if you see a one-off at the thrift store and it has a screen, buy it. I don't care if it's $1.50. Take it home because the ones with the screens are worth a lot. But and then they always throw in those I forget what they're called. Something. They're little things students use in college to take notes on.
Oh, you mean like the little recorders?
No, they're like I forget it. They're little white things. I don't know what they are. Keith could tell you.
Okay.
But they only sell for like $14, but they sell
all the time.
Overnight.
So, and you're into it for pennies.
Exactly.
See, that's what I mean. I don't understand why people poo-poo that.
Well, people poo-poo consignment too. In consignment, you don't pay anything for the item. But on consignment, I do have a limit. So I do, like, because I don't want to be, I'd rather list my own things. But on consignment, if you're going to bring me something that is the $50, $100 thing that I'm not paying for, that gives you the high end in your store, even though you're still only I make half after fees on my consignment things, but I didn't pay for them. So I did go out to look for them. And once people hear that you do that, and you're very picky about what you take, you're gonna get people always asking you for that. I'd have to turn people away. So
yeah, that consignment is a good way to go. There's just, I mean, that's a whole nother video topic too.
Right.
Oh, that is because
you gotta talk about how long you wait to pay them for returns. We used to do it for Keith's sister, and that worked out fine, but it was just one person, and it was his sister, and she's smart enough to understand that if we get a return, we have to take that money out of your next payment or whatever.
Yeah.
So Trish, tell me why bread and butter is so important.
Well, A, it's
And hey,
easy
everybody in the chat coming in. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just excited to be talking to Trish and Diane.
it's very easy to find. I think most people leave it behind. They are looking for the higher end things.
Well, Trish goes to the bins after the crazy people run and get all their things, and then she fills her carriage.
I just think that if I can buy something for less than $1 and sell it for more than 10, I'm good. My processes, I mean, and let's also say that you need to have your processes down. This needs to be something that you understand fully well and can do fast. So that, I mean, if I was brand new at this, would I want to buy something for 1 and flip it to 10? Probably not. But the longer you're in the game and the faster you are and the tighter your processes are and the tighter your listing processes, the easier it is to do this, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that I don't have any problem selling things all day long. I sell all day long because my things are cheap. I don't have to wait for a real specific buyer to come in and buy a pair of jeans because they're $20. You know, everybody, oh, it's okay. It's $20. Those are the jeans I want. You know, if you're selling a $400 pocketbook, you got to wait for somebody who's going to specifically come and look for that. So for me, bread and butter is just my bread and butter. And so, I mean, it's 90% of my business, bread and butter.
You would say your whole business is built.
Yep.
And those higher end scores are the icing on the cake. Those are the few and far between. See, to me, those are the treasures. And when a pirate goes out treasure hunting, they don't find treasure every time they go out hunting.
Right.
They find the coconuts off the trees and they find rusty swords and this is a bad analogy, but you get where I'm going.
They find Walmart shirts.
Where is my hook hand?
Exactly.
So, Diane, why do you think bread and butter is important?
Well, that's what my whole business has been made on. So I have very little invested into my business except for time. And you have to account for your time. So that's part of it. But I sell anything that's
not nailed down.
Yeah. See all these things in my house? All these are going soon. If you're into Cabbage Patch,
coming soon to an eBay store near you.
So, you know, my daughter, these are actually all my daughter's Jen's dolls, and we saved them. And I just found the other day their birth certificate. So I sent her a thing and said, you adopted an awful lot of children.
Is that one of the Care Bear cousins or the Cabbage Patch cousin you just covered up back there?
I don't know. This one?
That's a couscous. Kusa. Yes. A kusa.
Care Bear. I called it a Care Bear cousin. It's a Cabbage Patch Kid animal.
Sure. If you people say so.
I recognize his face. They are so cute. Look at his
Jen, type what his name is in the chat. If you're
she already did. No, sure.
Yes, it's a kusa. Kusa. Yeah. I just added a whole bunch of more letters because I'm Italian.
But I mean, if you live in a place where you can go out and you can sustainably source enough items every day to list, those BOLO things every single day, good for you. I think you're full of shit. Mm-hmm. You can say that on PG-13.
Okay.
PG-13 movies actually get one F-bomb. Little known fact.
But not YouTube shows?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, let's not do it.
Vicky's dropped one or two before. No.
I have. I've heard her.
One or two?
One or two. And I also don't think it's like, even if Keith, okay, so like we right now at this maintaining and not growing level, we're listing about 20 to 30 items a day between the two of us. He lists more than I do, clearly, because I'm making videos and I'm social media, but I try to do 5 or 10, and then he picks up the slack. But even if we could, find just, say, okay, we're only going to sell stuff that's $50 or more, we're not going to be able to list 25, 30 items a day. Because number one, you're going to have to take all the remotes away, all of them, all hundreds and thousands of them that we process and list every month. So those are gone. And so now we have like a higher sell-through rate, or no, a higher average sell price, sorry.
ASP.
It's $50. But how much are we actually listing a day? And are we making enough to continue not only paying our bills and eating food, but the lifestyle that we like? I just went to FlipCon. I'm going to Boston. I'm also going to Remix. We also just went to Halloween Horror Nights. We're going to Disney. We're going to Harry Potter. We have a lifestyle that we like to live. I like to buy Stephen King hardcovers.
We have a lifestyle full of vacations. Sounds like me and Diane,
right? But I don't think we could sustainably even just pay our bills and continue to eat and remain chubby.
Well, that's what I need to do. I need to make less money so I can not eat.
So this is what I always tell people. Like, I don't ever really talk about numbers or whatever, but clearly, if you pay attention to the resellers that you can tell by how they're living if they're doing well. I'm clearly not starving.
Yes.
But I mean, my point is if we tomorrow woke up and said, we're changing our whole philosophy. And so we're only going to source those things that are going to sell for $50 or more. We are not going to find 30 of them a day. We're not going to be able to list 30 a day. And we're going to be paying more cost of goods. And like Trish said, waiting longer. So instead of me selling, two $12 plushies and three $20 jeans and a couple of $15 to $18 shirts and some little low-end remotes every day, I might be selling one pair of jeans a day. I
Absolutely.
don't see how you can pay your bills and sustain your lifestyles and keep your business without doing this bread and butter volume.
I agree. And I also think that unless you have some kind of source, some kind of crazy source that you're able to have a specific product over and over and over again. If you're somebody like the three of us who are thrifters of some sort, I mean, I don't really thrift, but you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Going out and buying the stuff one by one. I don't see how you can be a one by one seller without having bread and butter in your repertoire.
Yeah.
And I think
Robert says, sorry.
That's okay. I think you need to have a process with that as well. I think you can't just go out willy-nilly and say, well, I'm going here this day, there, this day. You have to have a system. You need to list certain days. You need to shop certain days. Granted, other things come in, but you should be in charge of your calendar so that you know when is the best time for you to do these. Like, I try to do my emails and things at night to answer people and while I have more energy, I want to do my picture taking and all of that. And then later on. So what is your process? Like, it's not going to be the same as mine. So
no, everyone's is going to be different. Every day is going to be different. But
right.
You saying that about the energy, I really agree with that. And something my dad had always taught me was do the things you don't want to do the most, the first.
Mm-hmm.
Do the hardest or the grossest or the worst or just whatever you're dreading. So I always take my pictures first thing after shipping because those are my two. I hate taking pictures and I hate shipping.
Oh man, I love shipping.
I like taking pictures. So see, you could. So what
I like listing. I like
switch.
sitting on my computer and listing. That's my favorite.
I don't like to list.
She doesn't like to list.
I love it, but I use list perfectly.
Well, I do too, but I still don't like it, and I don't do it. I pay other people to do it.
But I would never, I would outsource everything before I did, because I think it's my OCD nature, that routine.
Yeah.
I like to just sit. But so my day's always going to look different than Diane's because I like to list so much that when I know it's a shopping day, I still want to list. So the day before, I'll create, 10 extra things and list perfectly that I can push out when I get home from shopping the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I love the list. I love computer work. But yeah, it's so important. Get up every morning, whatever you dread, whatever you don't want to do the most, do it first. And plan your days whenever half off is in your area, whenever the bins are
Correct.
go when the bins aren't busy. Find that when we used to go to the bins in Pittsburgh, I think the reason I like them so much is because we went in the evening, number one, and we would go on the evenings. This is so silly, but Pittsburgh is a huge sports city. There's the
Oh yeah, we don't know
Steelers.
anything about that. We know
I
nothing.
don't though. I'm a nerd, but I had to learn.
Okay, well, Boston is best sports
There's the
city, so-
Steelers, there's the Pirates, and the Penguins. Look at that.
Look at you. You got them all.
So whenever there was a game, we would go to the Vens that night.
Yeah,
And there'd be
that's
like
smart.
two other
Yeah.
people there.
Yeah.
And we would have the whole place to ourselves, but they'd keep bringing out fresh bins. And I'm like, all these sports people are at their sporting event, and I'm here. This is so fun.
And speaking of bread and butter, because in New England we have the Patriots, the Celtics, the Bruins, and the Red Sox. That's what I sell a lot of.
And the Revolution.
I don't do soccer, but
Okay.
Revolution. I don't.
I know.
follow
I was just
any-
being fun. I was just impressed. I knew
Yeah.
Revolution.
I
But
find a lot of I need my baby back. I find a lot of Steelers, or I did find a lot of Steelers stuff, but
yeah, they're
Yeah.
right.
We find a lot.
So yeah, you need to get your processes down. And this is something I talk about on this channel all the time. You need a bullet journal. And if you're too cool for school and you don't want to do old-fashioned paper and pen, put a calendar on your phone. But you need to-do lists every single day. You need a schedule. You need routines. Good habits take 30 days to build. So you have to force yourself to do something for 30 days, and then it becomes autopilot. I can't get out of bed without making my bed in the mornings because I've been doing it for years. I forced myself to do it until it became so ingrained and such an autopilot. It's the first thing I do.
Okay. I haven't made a bed and I can't tell you how long.
Yeah, I make my bed
Diane makes
and then I brush my teeth and then I wash my face and then I get my coffee and then we do shit. Like I have a whole routine that I have to go through. But it took years, like 30 days to build the habit and then just to keep doing it. And now I have my days so scheduled, not by time, because time is irrelevant when you work from home. Like Trish knows, I got up at almost noon today, but I didn't get home from Halloween Horror Nights until like after 3 a.m. And then I was hungry and I needed a sandwich and I needed a beer and I needed to wash my makeup off.
I need a
Anyway,
beer.
but even when I don't feel like it, even like last week when I was really sick, I came home from FlipCon and Keith had a cold that he wanted to share with me. Isn't he nice? I would
Isn't that nice of
That's so
him?
sweet.
I felt like I had a flaming golf ball in my throat and I was dying. And even laying in bed, I'm like, well, maybe I can make a couple TikToks while I lay here. Like, because I couldn't lay there even though I thought I was dying without working.
I was dying.
I had some hot toddies too, though, so.
I thought I was dying. It's a cold, Star. You'll be okay.
He thought he was dying.
Yeah, but he's a
Jeez.
man. They get man colds.
So I
offense
wanted to
all the
mention
men.
Robert's comment real quick about how he's upfront with his numbers. Yeah, he is. And Robert sells a ton of bread and butter. And my store is public too. I have no shame. You want to go look at all my $8 remotes and my $10 plushies? Go look at them. Go look at them. They probably paid for my Halloween Horror Night tickets, right?
Exactly.
So, I guess I want you both, you can talk together or take turns. Just tell everyone like why it's so important to have the volume. Whether it's on a scale like Trish, which is huge, or a manageable scale with like a one person, you could have like 3,000 to 5,000 listings.
Go ahead.
Well, I think it's let me just go backwards a little bit because you started and said it took you 2 years to build up to your 4,000. And I remember being in a group, one of the Facebook groups, and someone had 750 items. And I was like, holy crap. Like there's never.
How can you get there? I know. It's crazy.
And, I'm like, how did you do that? And they answered me. They didn't like snub me. They answered me and said, one day at a time. And so if you list, so I tried to do like to get my numbers up from when I had less than 750. I think at that time I had 400. I I tried to list 5 every day. Like that was my goal. Before I went to bed, I wanted to get 5 done every day. And so, and that built up really, really quickly. So I think if you want consistent sales, you have to have consistent movement in your store, and just do something every single day that betters your store. And then you'll have those sales.
I agree with Diane. I think that consistency is the key, I think, to this business. I do not think we talk about it enough, actually, as a group. I think that I have, and I don't mean the exact same number every day, okay? Because I vary between like, say, 50 and 125 that go live every day, okay?
And I see everyone out there going, oh my God.
And that's,
he has employees.
I have, my daughter works for me full time. I have another girl who works for me part time, and then I do list. So that's the 50 to 125.
But we already said we're all different.
Right.
And everybody should do it the way that they, but
even when I did it alone, I did 10 listings a day, 7 days a week.
5.
And I made sure that I banked those listings so that I didn't have to work 7 days a week. But I think the key to this business is it's a machine. I think eBay is a machine, and you have to feed the machine. It needs gas every single day. And what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. Now, of course, if you find a holy grail, is that going to sell? Of course it's going to sell. But I'm talking about the everyday stuff, the bread and butter stuff. I think the way you sell bread and butter is that it needs to keep going. You need to constantly be feeding the machine. And I think eBay rewards people who have a certain amount of consistency.
And I agree.
Yeah. And your consistency could be 10 a day. Your consistency
Your
could be 1,000.
consistency needs to be what you need it to be.
Right.
So if you're doing this part-time to buy your dog a Halloween costume, or to pay your kids college, or if you're full-time and this is how you pay your bills, it's what you need. And that's so important. And Diane keeps saying it too, because it is super important. You need to find your why. Remember they said that at FlipCon? That really resonated. Find your why and find how much you need and what you need to do for you. Some folks can list 5 a day and pay their bills. They might be single and have a cat or a hamster. Some people might have 5 kids and a big home and 2 cars and college educations they're paying off. So their amount that they might need is different. And don't aspire to be anyone else. Can I just throw that out there?
Okay, see, I'm going to disagree with you a little. When I first met Di, I was struggling terribly. I had a consignment store.
That's different than where I was going.
What'd you say?
That's different than what I was about to say.
Okay, go ahead then.
You're talking about being encouraged by someone else. I'm talking about don't look at what other people are doing and feel like you're not good enough.
Oh, absolutely not. Okay. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
So like if you see somebody on the YouTubes or the TikToks and they have the Batmobile and you're like, well, shit, I'm not selling enough. Don't feel like that. Don't feel like that at all. Are you taking care of yourself and your family? Do you have what you need and some of what you want? If that answer is no, then get to work. But if the answer is yes, you don't need to keep up with the Joneses. Is that the expression?
Yeah.
No, but it also is good to have an aspiration. I really do think this. And I'm not that I want to be somebody else, but I think that if I hadn't met Diane and hadn't been in her group, and she was really sweet, I would show up and I would take her phone and I would literally go in her eBay app and be like, how much money did you make yesterday? And I would look.
And she would ask me and I wouldn't know.
She wouldn't know. It didn't mean anything to her. She's like, oh, I sold 4 things.
You're right.
And I'd be like, no, but how much money? And she never knew. And so I started doing, I mean, I had her permission. I wasn't, but I would compare them.
Do it now.
No, it's okay. I would compare them and I would always be behind and always be behind and always be behind. And then one day I surpassed her and I was like, I beat you. I was like, thrilled to death.
And I was thrilled to death too, because if you're a good partner or friend, that's what you want. You want that person to succeed. You want the very best out of that person. And if you're in a place or a group that's not what's happening, you need to
a
remove
different
yourself
group.
and
Mhm.
join our group because we're fun, friendly, and we'll
We want
encourage
everyone.
you.
I mean, it's an ocean and all boats will rise.
Yep.
That is our opinion. And I think you can be as successful as you want to be in this
Mhm.
in this profession. It's
Yeah,
what you
there-
put in.
You should absolutely be encouraged and have folks around you that lift you up and support you and make you want to be better and do better. But don't feel bad about yourself. because
Never.
you
No,
don't have what-
absolutely not.
And there's always room for improvement too. So if you answer the question of do I have what I need, and the answer is yes, maybe you do a little bit more than what you need. So next year you can go to Remix, or next year you
Absolutely.
can go on vacation. There's always room for improvement. I really discourage people not making the connections for the encouragement, but I get a lot of messages all the time. And a lot of people actually said to me at FlipCon that they actually felt bad because they weren't who these people on the panels were. And I'm like, but those are different. There were people there that have been selling for 10, 15 years, and you've been doing it for a couple months, and you come here and you see that Chris Lynn has this big operation with all these employees. You're not going to be him yet.
Is that what you want?
And you might never want to be that person.
I don't want to do that.
She doesn't want to do what I do.
No.
She doesn't want to have to worry about, what's.
You have to do what you want. What's going to make you happy and what's going to fit into your lifestyle. And I can't.
And don't make excuses either.
No.
I can't stand. Here, let me tell you this. Since we're just getting just all kinds of tough love, and Star's just telling it how it is tonight.
Well, good, because I do that all the time.
Someone comes to me and says, I need help. I look at their store and I give them some advice. Or they say, I only list one thing a day and I need to grow. I'm like, list 10 a day. Well, I can't find 10 things to source. Well, here's 10 ideas of where to source. And then in 6 months, that same person comes back to me and they have less listings on eBay than they did the first time they came to me, and they're still in the same boat. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they just if you just keep making excuses and you're never getting better, and you're going to people for help and you're not taking that advice, this might not be for you.
Absolutely agree with you 100%. I mean, this is not an easy thing we do. It's a solitary thing, which is why I think community is so important to us, because you're in your house alone in front of a computer. You go to a store. If you're lucky, you have somebody to go to a store with, like you and Cheryl now go sourcing. If you're lucky, you have that. And if you don't, you're in a thrift store alone looking at clothes or tchotchkes or hard goods or whatever you sell. But this is an equal opportunity business. Anybody can succeed at this.
For everyone.
There is. This is a business that you can start with zero funds. You can do free stuff. Then you can roll that over, go to yard sales, roll that over, go to a flea market. This is a zero entry game. And that makes it so all it is based on is you and your hard work.
Exactly. Well, and I had said earlier that Keith took $20 to the Benz when he got started. He got that $20 actually from selling a couple of his own things.
Right.
So he had some old video games that he didn't want anymore, and he sold them on eBay. And then when he saw that money, he was like, what else can I do with this?
Right.
And this was actually his. Like I said, that's a whole nother story. But you can literally take a couple of your old things around the house.
Absolutely.
Make some money. Take that to the bins. And if you don't like the bins, like we did like them because we would go at times when it was empty, but it hurts my back and it offends my germophobiness. But
well, your FlipCon that you went to, Harry Tornado did a series of videos on how to start with nothing and end with $1,000. And Jen and I watched the whole series coming back from New York. We learned so much, and he picked up something off the side of the road, brought it home, cleaned it, flipped it, took that money, only that money, went to the store, bought a pair of sneakers, sold them, took that money, and continued. So if you put yourself out there and you want to do, like he had a mission, he was going to do this. So that drive had him succeed. But if he said, I'm not going out there. I'm not cleaning that. I don't want to get my hands dirty. I'm not, that's gross. You're picking stuff off the side of the road that they left there. Ugh. So
you do that all the time.
If
I
you're
do
in a
feel that way
car
about
with me,
food.
I got 2 frozen suitcases that I had to almost
Last week.
off the side of the road, perfect condition. Rick took them to try to clean them. He goes, I didn't have to clean them. I go, I know, but Trish didn't want to stop. We went by them twice.
Okay, I stopped finally. Jeez, man. We're on our way to dinner.
But yeah, if you have a mission, I'm looking for my trash can. I don't know where it is. If you have a mission, it's kind of back to that. Find your why. Why are you doing? See, I was in a very unfortunate position, but fortunate. So I don't advise this to anyone. Don't ever just jump in and do this. But when I got hurt at work, I had no choice. I couldn't get a job. So I was backed in a corner, and it was scary, and it was sink or swim, and I had to. That's not how I recommend doing it. Like, get some savings going, save some money, get some capital, get some inventory, get in a place where you're comfortable quitting your job, and then quit. But
Agreed. But if
you're in a position where you're up against the
Just
wall,
do it.
sometimes that's the best thing that can happen.
Right.
I used to list 40 things a day. This was I only did eBay at the time, no cross posting, and I was not on YouTube yet or in social media. I used to sit and list 40 items a day because I was, 1, up against the wall, and 2, I felt guilty because this was supposed to be Keith's thing, and he was still going to work every day to a place that he was miserable at. So I had to build it up so he could do it too.
Right. Well, it's good. I mean, with hard work, it works.
Yeah. So find your why. Like, if you ever feel just discouraged and you just don't want to do it anymore, remember why you're doing it.
Agreed, completely. And before we leave, because it's almost an hour, I just want everybody to come to our thing. We will put it in the. Can you put our
I put the group in there.
Okay, that's fine. You can find it at the group. So we have a group. Please come and join. And then also, if anyone is in the Northeast, come to our watch party. We promise it will be fun.
Here, let me flood it the way Doug does it. This perfectly chats.
Yeah, come to Boston. Come and stay. I think after a couple days after, we're going to Salem to see some witches. Anyone who's around is more than welcome to come.
Yeah. So the story behind why I'm actually going to speak at their
Yay, Mother Dales is coming.
The last eBay event, what was that?
The last eBay event?
Yeah, where you guys had the room.
Where we had what?
The room. We always have a room.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Do we sleep in the street sometimes?
Maybe.
I went to the event into your room.
Oh, you mean just the eBay, not the eBay Open, whatever it was last time, like Seller Central or whatever.
Yeah. So it was just a couple weeks ago. It was whenever Kim was on my channel, I believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were saying they were doing a watch party up in New England and this and that. And I was like, hey, did you know that Salem is one of the things on my bucket list?
Oh, that's right.
And I was like, do you know how close we are to Salem?
She's like, I'll tell you what, you come speak at our event.
And I'll bring you to Salem.
So yay, I get to go see one of my bucket list places and meet anyone who's there.
Yeah, so hopefully it's an odd time because it's like 2 PM. So we're going from 2 PM till 5, and then we're doing a nighttime regular meetup. So, if you guys work, if you're at work, don't worry, come after work. It's at a restaurant. We'll have our own table, our own room, so you can order dinner, drinks, whatever.
There is a fee for it. It's $20. There's going to be some food in the afternoon
and at night.
And then you can order dinner or drinks on your own. We're going to try to negotiate maybe a drink coupon, but we haven't got that worked out yet.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're working on that.
And there'll be lots and lots of swag.
Lots of swag. So it'll be worth it. And I'm also working on, once you all register, I'm working on a where you live thing to see if I can link people up so you could carpool with New Hampshire people or Rhode Island people. If I have 3 people from Rhode Island, I don't know, you might not be near each other, but Rhode Island's this big. So you probably
This
are
big.
this
This
big.
big.
So, I'll do that, at the end. So you can maybe meet a new friend and network all the way to the place and then all the way back.
So is housing available for someone from Texas? I have a feeling 2 of our mutual friends will
Yes.
be in Salem and have their own hotel room. And you could maybe room with them like you just did at FlipCon.
Yes. And there's also right in our town, there's a whole and it may not be the cheapest, but it might be. There's 3 different hotels right in our town. So
But is it Scott? Is that who we're talking about?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, if Scott wants to come, he should just call me. We might be able to work something out.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. I'm excited about meeting other sellers, of course, and doing the whole eBay thing. I always get so hyped. I was telling Kim, excuse me, please don't demonetize me, but reseller community events are kind of like cocaine. I get hyped, man. I'm like, woo!
We come back to our room and we're like, we can't go to sleep. This
Yeah.
is crazy.
I get so
we're
hyped.
exhausted.
You're
Totally
exhausted, but you're like, "Boop, boop, 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 boop."
What did they say? Did you hear this? What did they say? Oh my goodness.
When Trish saw me the morning of the panels at FlipCon, I was like, I had 2 hours of sleep.
Yep, that was it.
I was a mess, but I'm also super stoked about Salem because I love all things Halloween and witches. And
It will be fun. So we hope some people will come and see Star speak. It will be good. We'll have lots of discussions. It will be a pretty good meeting. It won't just be people yakking. We're going to have some structure and we'll learn some stuff and then we'll have some open discussion. It'll be great.
Yeah.
we're
And if
actually
you
going
have
to
any-
learn.
If
And
you
then
have any
we'll-
questions for us too, we weren't able to add into the chat here, but you can message us on our Facebook group and we'd be more than happy to help you or answer any questions or even do the, dynamics of how to get to or where to stay and that stuff. So,
Yep. And I did put their group. Kim put their group. Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Kim.
Kim's over there with her blue wrench, doing her blue wrench thing.
Thank you, Kim.
But yeah, thank you to everyone who showed up. I know we didn't interact with the chat as much as I normally try to, but I do appreciate everyone coming and watching this. And if you have any reseller friends who didn't watch this, make sure they do, because I go back to what I said at the beginning. I think it is a common misconception that bread and butter isn't worth it. And a lot of people don't want to do volume because it's too much work. But I mean, I think it's the only way to really be successful. And unless you want to go back and work for the man and pay for the boss's Lamborghini next summer, you got to do what you got to do to work from home. So that's my 2 cents. Anything you guys want to add?
Couldn't agree with you more.
love selling.
We love to sell anything.
Yeah, I
No,
don't
you
ever
have to
want to go
say
back
the
to work
right
for
thing,
somebody
though.
else.
It's fun to be a reseller. Don't you want to be one?
It's fun to be a reseller. Don't you want to be one? Bye, guys.
Bye,
Thank you so much
everybody.
to everyone in the chat. We love you.
Thank you for coming.
Buddy says bye
Bye.
too.
He says bye too.